Chip Roy had one of the most epic rants in front of Congress I think I've ever seen. It was about the national debt and all that crisis that's going on. I have a video of it, as well as Donald Trump's reaction to what Chip Roy said. Here it is.
I made my promise to my kids that I would do everything I can to save this country. And what we're doing right now is to continue to double down on the things that are destroying the republic. We are going to increase the debt ceiling. Not just $4 trillion, that's false. We have spent $4.7 trillion in additional debt in the last 19 months. We're going to increase the debt by $5 trillion. That's what's going to happen right here by Republicans, increasing the debt $5 trillion. And what are you doing in the same bill? $110 billion unpaid for. Because you never have any ounce of self-respect to go out and campaign saying you're going to balance the budget, and then you come in here and pass $110 billion unpaid for. On top of the $200 billion you did for WEP, you guys won't agree with that, but the fact of the matter is $330 billion. Congratulations, you've added to the debt since you were given the majority again on November 5th. It's embarrassing. It's shameful. Yes, I think this bill is better than it was yesterday on certain respects, but to take this bill yesterday and congratulate yourself because it's shorter in pages, but increases the debt by $5 trillion is asinine.
Okay, so everything he said is great. I love the passion, and I'll respond to some of what he said in a moment, but I have to show you what Trump's reaction was. Trump tweeted this. I believe this is on Truth Social. This is what he said if you're just listening. He said, I'll put it up on the screen for those of you who are watching. He said, Chip Roy is just another ambitious guy with no talent. By the way, how's Bob Good doing? I hope some talented challengers are getting ready in the great state of Texas to go after Chip in the primary. He won't have a chance! ! Trump, what the heck are you doing? Because here's the deal. You don't have to agree with Chip Roy. Many people don't. Right now, Republicans are largely split between two factions when it comes to the national debt and this bill that is going to avoid government shutdown. Do we look? The split is essentially this. And I'm really not trying to straw man it. I'm really just trying to give it its honest side for both. Do we look popular and spend more money, for instance, which is actually a real consideration because you have to win elections? Or do we get stubborn about the national debt? Frankly, I'm fairly open to both cases. I have stronger opinions probably towards Chip Roy. I'm a little bit more on that side generally, but I think both have some merit because on one hand, we have to take control of the debt. We absolutely do. But on the other hand, there are much bigger wastes of money going on in the government right now than this bill, and Republicans hold a very slim majority in Congress. And so you actually, in order to pass bills, you actually have to compromise because it turns out that Republicans don't all think the same. We're a little bit different. And some people believe something should be in the bills and some shouldn't. And when you're dealing with a very slim majority, if there's even two Republicans that want to go off with the Democrats, you're not going to pass what you want to pass. And so you have to come up with compromises. That's what Mike Johnson's job is. That's why his job is undesirable. I do not covet it in the slightest. No one should. It sucks. That's why everyone, frankly, kind of hates Mike Johnson many times, is because he can't make anyone happy. And so I see that on that side. Again, I tend to go a little bit more towards Chip Roy, not wanting Congress to pass anything if they can't pass something good. But I think there's fair points on both sides, is all I'm saying. But instead of realizing kind of this nuanced matter, Donald Trump decided to tweet out his attack of Chip Roy. He even could have gone out and tweeted his own opinion. That would have been fine. If he wanted to go out and just say, Republicans need to pass this. Government shutdown is not a good thing. And again, that's Donald Trump speaking. Okay, fair enough. He can say that. But he decided instead to attack a true conservative in Congress. And this stuff really pisses me off because it is not remotely productive ever. And my worry, this is my true worry about Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. I think he's been very successful in politics and helping the Republican Party change and helping the Republican Party win. But my biggest concern is that this is going to leave too many wounds for Republicans, like good Republicans, like Chip Roy. And I want him to weed out the establishment. I want him to get rid of the rhinos, but Chip Roy is not a rhino. He's not. I've seen him in person. I've heard him speak. I've followed him for many, many years, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well. If you have, you know he's a true conservative. You know he loves the Constitution. You know he very rarely compromises with Democrats at all, but when he does, he doesn't compromise on his principles. I like Chip Roy a lot. I do, even if I have some disagreements with him. And Trump is not doing himself or the Republican Party any favors by demonizing Roy. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Chip Roy will likely be a huge ally for Trump going forward as he tries to use the bully pulpit to pass legislation through Congress and eventually sign it. So that's what really pisses me off. And the other thing, I want to go into what Chip Roy was specifically saying in there. You can tell, and this is kind of a new thing, you can tell he's speaking to Congress. One thing that really bothers me in some of these hearings, you see it a lot with senators, is that they know that these things are going to go on national TV. You know that people, they're assuming that people like me are going to clip these and put them out there. And so what you see is, especially with the senators, even some good senators, is you can tell they're not talking to the Senate or they're not talking to Congress. They are speaking to the American people, and that's actually not a good thing. That's not what they should be doing. They should be legislating. They should be doing their job. They should not be a political commentator. That's what I do. I'm a political commentator. I get to talk about politics. You get to work. And what I really like about Chip Roy is you can tell with the passion that he's speaking and the words he's using, he's actually not speaking to Americans. He's speaking to Congress. You can tell that. And I like that. And he's also talking to both sides. He's not just talking to Republicans. He's talking to Democrats. So he is primarily speaking to Republicans and chastising them for supposedly talking about getting a hold of the national debt, but not actually wanting to do that. So again, either side's position is not unthinkable. It's not indefensible. But what is indefensible is being the leader of a party, which Donald Trump, by all accounts, is. His daughter literally is the leader of the party. And trying to destroy its best members over a disagreement that I would say is relatively small in the political scope of things. I'm not saying it's minuscule. There's some important things, and the national debt is very important. But this moment in history is not as important as Chip Roy's career and the things that he can do and has done in Congress. So Trump has proven in the past that he can make amends with people that he's demonized. The person that comes to my mind is Brian Kemp in Georgia. They had big problems. They made amends. It was very good for Donald Trump because he won his election. He won the electoral votes in Georgia. He's proven to be able to do that. I hope that he will do it again. And I hope that he does it even better because he has to do it with Chip Roy if he wants to be successful in his term. We'll get to some good news in just one second. But first, guys, it's Christmas time. So I want to tell you all a Christmas story. And this is a Christmas story, by the way, that a lot of you have probably experienced in your life. It's the night before Christmas, and you're on a hunt to find a certain decoration or something special to put out, maybe a stocking. And you know you have it, but you don't even know where you put it. And you realize you don't have to worry anymore because you have the sponsor of the show, Smart Labels. With Smart Labels QR codes, you can just put a label on a storage container, scan the QR code with the corresponding app, and then catalog everything you put in the container with a name, description, and a picture. Then you just let the app know where you put the container, and voila, next year when you have that same problem inevitably, which we all have, you can just do a search in the app and it will tell you the color of the label, the 4-character code on the label, and where you put it. Or if you're curious about what is in a specific storage bin on a high shelf, you can just simply scan that QR code with the app and it tells you everything that is inside. This holiday season, whether you get those labels for yourself or for someone else as a gift, go to Amazon and it's one word, Smart Labels. It's going to give you a huge thank you from your future self or whoever you bought that gift for. If you're looking for a last-minute gift for Christmas for yourself or for someone else, I do want to talk about my book, A New Cult. I talk about the progressive movement, what they're doing to literally take over our country. It's on Amazon right now. The link is in the description. I pointed over here because it's on the bookshelf. But it's on Amazon right now. The link is in the description below. It's only $9.99. It makes a fantastic gift. I enjoyed writing it, so I know you'll enjoy reading it as well. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.